Want to speak real Russian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at RussianPod101.com.
Привет всем! Hi everyone, and I'm Katusha. And today we're going to talk about 10 lines you need for introducing yourself. Ta-da-da-dun-ta-dun! Let's begin! Меня зовут Катюша. My name is Katusha. Меня зовут. My name is. So when you meet someone for the first time, as we probably talked about it before, you say your name. We can practice. Hi, my name is Katusha. What's your name? Oh, nice to meet you. Мне лет. I am years old. Maybe you don't really want to discuss your age, but if somebody asks you, you should answer, for example, 18. Мне 18 лет. How old are you? Сколько тебе лет? I'm 102 years old. Мне 102 года. Be careful with Russian because, as you just noticed, I didn't say лет, but I said года. Years can differ from which numbers do you use. It depends on which age you say, so be careful. Tricky Russian, yay! Мне очень нравится слушать музыку. I like listening to music. So I enjoy or I like is мне нравится. And then you can say what you like. I enjoy playing computer. Мне нравится играть на компьютере. I like going out. Мне нравится ходить по клубам. I like shopping. Мне нравится ходить по магазинам. Or I like you. Ты мне нравишься. Одно из моих хобби чтение. One of my hobbies is reading. Or you can say my hobby is. Мое хобби рисовать. My hobby is to draw. My hobby икебана. Привет! Приятно познакомиться. Hi, nice to meet you. Привет, я Катюша. Приятно познакомиться. So you should try saying, you say hello, привет. And then you say your name and then nice to meet you. Приятно познакомиться. The friendly you will be ты, and the polite you will be вы. So when you want to emphasize on someone being friendly, and you just met, you say приятно с тобой познакомиться. Nice to meet you as friendly. And nice to meet you as polite will be приятно с вами познакомиться. Okay, so just a small little touch for you. Hope it's gonna be useful. Я из Москвы. I'm from Moscow. Я из Америки. I'm from America. Я из России. I am from Russia. Я изучаю русский в течение года. I've been learning Russian for a year. Я изучаю русский в течение года. Okay, how long have you been studying Russian, huh? I hope you're progressing with me. Я учитель. I'm a teacher. Я твой учитель. Or you can say a feminine way. Я твоя учительница. Я учительница. Я учу русский на RussianPod101.com. I'm learning Russian on RussianPod101.com. Yes, I said it. So you're proud. You just say, oh, I am learning Russian on RussianPod101.com. Of course. Чем ты занимаешься? What do you do? Чем ты занимаешься? Hi, what do you do? Привет, чем ты занимаешься? What do you do can mean what are you doing now, right now? Like you come back home and say, oh, what are you doing kind of thing. Or you can just say like you're asking someone what kind of job, work they're doing in their life. So it can be useful. Okay, so it was 10 lines. You'll need to introduce yourself. So I hope you liked it, and please leave me your comments. Nice meeting you, and don't forget to subscribe. Пока-пока. What are we doing today? Stick it to my skin. I feel like I'm in a sauna. Hi everyone, it's me Katusha with you and 10 New Year's resolutions. Больше читать. Read more. Больше читать. Read more. Read more is our first suggestion. Читать больше. Бросить курить. Quit smoking. Бросить курить. Quit smoking. If you decide, you can say, oh, next year I decided to quit smoking. В следующем году я решил бросить курить. Выучить что-то новое. Learn something new. Выучить что-то новое. Learn something new. Or you should say, you should learn something new. Come on. Давай. Выучи что-нибудь новое. Come on. Let's learn some Russian. Кушать здоровую пищу. Eat healthy. Кушать здоровую пищу. Eat healthy. Healthy life, longer life, better lives. I would like to eat healthy to live longer. Я бы хотел кушать здоровую пищу, чтобы жить дольше. Меньше пить. Drink less. Меньше пить. Drink less. I think they mean alcohol, right? Yeah. We should drink less, definitely. Меньше пей. Посмотри на себя. Накопить денег. Save money. Накопить денег. Save money. I want to save some money to go to Moscow. Я бы хотела накопить денег, чтобы поехать в Москву. Проводить больше времени с семьей. Spend more time with your family. Проводить больше времени с семьей. Spend some more time with your family. You can say, let's spend more time together. Давайте проведем больше времени вместе. Регулярно заниматься спортом. Exercise regularly. I'm going to gym every day to exercise regularly. Я хожу в спортивный зал каждый день, чтобы регулярно заниматься спортом. Поехать путешествовать. Go traveling. Поехать путешествовать. To go traveling. Or to go for a trip. Поехать в путешествие. Учить русский язык с RussianPod101.com. Studying Russian with RussianPod101.com. Учить русский язык с RussianPod101.com. Studying Russian with RussianPod101.com. Yay! So it's a very important one, so don't forget about this. So repeat after me, and I wish you good luck. See you later, and don't forget to subscribe. It was 10 New Year's resolutions in me, Katusha, with you. Пока-пока.
You are at a train station where you're attempting to buy an express ticket from a ticket machine. Which option should you choose to buy an express ticket? Which option should you choose to buy an express ticket? The option on the bottom left is for an express train.
Скоростной поезд.
You are at a train station where you've just bought an express ticket. Which train car and seat number are you in? Which train car and seat number are you in? The ticket says that you're in train car number 1 in seat 25.
Вагон 1, место 25.
You are at a train station where you're reading the train schedule for an express ticket that you've just bought. On which days are there no express trains running? On which days are there no express trains running? There are no express trains running on public holidays and the third Sunday of every month.
В праздничные дни и третье воскресенье каждого месяца.
You are on a platform at a train station where you're waiting for your train. Suddenly, a message appears on the display. What does the message on the display mean? What does the message on the display mean? The display reads, "The next train will not stop."
Следующий поезд проследует без остановки.
You are at a train station where you're looking for the best exit to catch a taxi. Which exit should you take to get to the taxi rank? Which exit should you take to get to the taxi rank? You should take the east exit in order to get to the taxi rank.
Восточный выход.
Hello friends, my name is Anthony and welcome to Top Words. Today we are going to be talking about the top 10 most common tourist vocabulary. Let's start. And first word, билет, ticket. Ticket, this is a document certifying the right to use something for free. Два билета, пожалуйста. Two ticket, please. Next word, tourist, tourist. Tourist, this is a person who entered surprisingly in tourism. В этом году страну посетило много туристов. A lot of tourists visited the country this year. Next word, путеводитель, guidebook. Guidebook printed the electronic or audiovisual reference book about some city. Перед поездкой в какую-нибудь страну я всегда покупаю путеводитель. I always buy a guidebook before traveling to a country. Next word. Экскурсионный автобус. Tour bus. Tour bus type of bus designed to carry passengers for a sightseeing. Экскурсионный автобус отправляется с Ленинградского вокзала. The tour bus will depart from Leningradsky station. Next word. Храм. Temple. Temple a cult construction intended to communicate people with a god. Этот храм был восстановлен после пожара. This temple was restored after a fire. Next word. Мечеть. Mosque. Mosque. This is a prayer house for Muslims. Московская соборная мечеть – одна из крупнейших в Европе. Moscow Cathedral Mosque is one of the biggest in Europe. Next word. Церковь. Church. Church and temple are synonyms. For example, a Christian temple is called a church. So the church is the Christian community as a whole and the form of organization of believing Christians. В каждом, даже самом маленьком городе России есть церковь. Each and every town of Russia, even the smallest, has a church. Next word. Водопад. Waterfall. The waterfall is the swiftly falling stream of water. Водопаду Кивач посвящали стихотворения известные русские поэты. Famous Russian poets dedicated poems to the Kivach waterfall. Next word. Дворец. Palace. Palace is a large public building, usually distinguished by its architecture. Этот дворец служил резиденцией для императорской семьи более 300 лет. The palace served as a residence for the royal family for over 300 years. Next word. Guide. Guide. Guide human that accompanying tourists or sightseers and explaining that they see. Гид рассказал много интересного об истории города. The guide told us many interesting things about the history of the city. And for today it's all. Thank you so much for watching. Today we talked about the top 10 most common tourist vocabulary. And what kind of tourist words do you know? Write the answers in the comments. And don't forget to check out RussianPod11.com to learn more Russian. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Пока-пока. Bye-bye.
Ника, вы русская?
Нет, я украинка, но живу в России. А вы откуда? Вы американец?
Да, я из Америки.
А из какого штата?
Я родился в Орегоне, но живу в Нью-Йорке. Ника, ты говоришь по-английски?
Немного. Нет, очень плохо. Но я говорю по-немецки.
Правда? Я тоже немного говорю. Совсем немного.
Но ты хорошо говоришь по-русски.
Нет, я только учу.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Оксана.
Здравствуйте, а меня Эрик.
Очень приятно.
Взаимно.
Бен, кем ты работаешь?
Я экономист. Работаю в банке. А ты?
А я еще студентка. Учусь на журналиста и подрабатываю в кафе.
А ты на каком курсе?
На 5. В этом году заканчиваю.
Здорово. Удачи. Здравствуйте. Извините, можно с вами познакомиться?
Да, конечно. Меня зовут Вероника. А как вас зовут?
Бенджамин. Можно просто Бен.
Очень приятно, Бен.
Мне тоже очень приятно.
Hi everybody, it's me Katyusha. Welcome to RussianPod101.com. Today our topic is 10 ways to motivate yourself when learning Russian. Let's begin! Я представляю, как однажды поеду в Россию или буду там жить. Я представляю, как однажды поеду в Россию или буду там жить. I imagine that one day I'll visit or live in Russia. Я представляю, как однажды я поеду в Россию или буду там жить. I imagine that one day I'll visit or live in Russia. Well, I recommend you start with visiting first. Я также изучаю другие аспекты русской культуры. Так учить язык интереснее. Я также изучаю другие аспекты русской культуры. Так учить язык интереснее. I've studied other aspects of the Russian culture too, which makes it more rewarding to study the language. Я также изучаю другие аспекты русской культуры. Так язык учить интереснее. I've studied all the aspects of the Russian culture too, which makes it more rewarding to study the language. Я люблю находить забавные слова в языке, которые изучаю. Я люблю находить забавные слова в языке, который изучаю. I like to find funny words in Russian. Я люблю находить забавные слова в языке, который изучаю. I like to find funny words in Russian. Пук. Я стараюсь подружиться с людьми, которые говорят по-русски. Я стараюсь подружиться с людьми, которые говорят по-русски. I try to make friends with people who speak Russian. Я стараюсь подружиться с людьми, которые говорят по-русски. I try to make friends with people who speak Russian. Another way of motivating yourself is watching videos on YouTube of people who successfully learned Russian. Мне нравится по-русски заказывать еду в русских ресторанах. Мне нравится по-русски заказывать еду в русских ресторанах. I enjoy speaking Russian to order food at Russian restaurants. Мне нравится по-русски заказывать еду в русских ресторанах. I enjoy speaking Russian to order food in Russian restaurants. Next time when you're in Russian restaurant, try ordering борщ or вареники по-русски in Russian. Good luck! Удачи! Я смотрю русские фильмы и телепередачи и радуюсь, когда понимаю слово или предложение. Я смотрю русские фильмы и телепередачи и радуюсь, когда понимаю слово или предложение. I watch Russian movies and TV shows and enjoy the feeling when I understand a word or sentence. Я смотрю русские фильмы и телепередачи и радуюсь, когда понимаю слово или предложение. I watch Russian movies and TV shows and enjoy the feeling when I understand the word or sentence. Я учу наизусть любимые русские песни и напеваю их все время, с каждым днем понимая все больше. Я учу наизусть любимые русские песни и напеваю их все время, с каждым днем понимая все больше. I learned my favorite Russian songs by heart and sing them all the time. I understand the lyrics better every day. Я учу наизусть любимые русские песни и напеваю их все время. С каждым днем понимаю все больше и больше. I learned my favorite Russian songs by heart and sing it every day. I understand the lyrics better every day. Я ищу рецепты на русском языке и готовлю какое-нибудь блюдо русской кухни каждые выходные. Я ищу рецепты на русском языке и готовлю какое-нибудь блюдо русской кухни каждые выходные. I search for recipes in Russian and cook Russian food every weekend. Another way is cooking in Russian. What can be better? Я ищу рецепты на русском языке И какое-нибудь блюдо русской кухни готовлю каждые выходные. I search for recipes in Russian and cook Russian food every weekend. Я прошу русских друзей советовать мне интересные новости и статьи на русском. Я прошу русских друзей советовать мне интересные новости и статьи на русском. I ask my friends to give me interesting Russian news and other articles to read. Do you have Russian friends? So that's another tip. Я прошу русских друзей советовать мне интересные новости и статьи на русском. I ask my friends to give me interesting Russian news and other articles to read. Пересматривая видео на русском, которое не мог понять раньше, чтобы почувствовать, каких успехов достиг. Пересматривай видео на русском, которое не мог понять раньше, чтобы почувствовать, каких успехов достиг. Rewatch the videos in Russian you couldn't understand before to feel the real progress you've made. Don't forget to check RussianPod101.com for more videos and other tools. Пересматривай те видео на русском, которые я не мог понять раньше, чтобы почувствовать, каких ты успехов достиг. Rewatch the videos in Russian you couldn't understand before to feel the progress you've made. Well, guys, that's my 10 ways to motivate you learning Russian. I hope it will help you. If you're stuck and you feel you cannot progress, try singing or watching animations. If you have any tips, please share with me and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. See you next time. Пока-пока. Hi guys, it's me, Katyusha. Всем привет! Welcome to RussianPod101.com. If you're new or not new, I still welcome you. Добро пожаловать. Today our topic is 5 most popular Russian bands. Let's check it out. Тату. Тату были очень популярны и за пределами России. Слышал о них? Tattoo was very popular abroad. Have you heard of them? You should definitely check one of their songs like Я сошла с ума, like I got crazy, yeah. They're quite cute. Try singing that. Серебро. Серебро представляли Россию на Евровидении в 2007 году. Серебро represented Russia in 2007 Eurovision Song Contest. B2. B2. B2 – это рок-группа, очень популярная в России, но не думаю, что многие знают их за границей. B2 is a rock band that is very popular in Russia. Ночные снайперы. Night Snipers. Ночные снайперы в некоторых песнях использовали стихи Бродского, Ахматовой, Лорки. Ночные снайперы used poetry by Brodsky, Akhmatova, and Lorca in some of their songs. Ария. Арию назвали русскими Iron Maiden. Aria was known as the Russian Iron Maiden. Guys, it was me, Katyusha, and RussianPod101.com with a new topic, 5 most popular Russian bands. Did you like it? Please check out these amazing Russian bands and tell me what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and comment on RussianPod101.com. Пока-пока. See you another time.
Want to speak real Russian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at RussianPod101.com.
When learning a new language, we sometimes have a hard time with things like procrastination, discouragement, or failure. But don't panic. With a good strategy, you'll be able to overcome these difficulties. Are you ready to discover the 4 habits of successful learners? Number 1, optimize your time. When learning a language, it's important to dedicate time to your studies regularly, even if sometimes it's difficult. You're busy with school, work, family, or friends, but you can spread out your learning throughout the day. Study whenever you have small gaps of time in your busy schedule. This can be when you're on the metro, on your lunch break, or while you're exercising. Our podcast learning format fits perfectly into your tight schedule. Number 2, consistency with your chosen method. There are a lot of options when it comes to courses and learning materials. Switching from one method to another can confuse you and disrupt your progress. Focusing on one learning method will make a difference. Our method has been created and optimized by real teachers, so you can stick to it with confidence. Number 3, use your language background. Many languages share some commonalities. You can find words that look or sound similar, or even share the same grammar structure. A little bit of language background will give you an edge while learning. Number 4, study continuously. People are excited when they start learning a new language. The enthusiasm usually lasts until the first roadblock. This can lead to discouragement and procrastination. But don't burn yourself out. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't try to learn it all at once. Break things down into more digestible chunks. Learning step by step might feel slow, but it's an efficient way to learn a language. With patience, motivation, and good resources, you'll master the language. Remember, you can't learn a language overnight, but with motivation and these daily lessons, you'll be on the road to fluency.
Мужчина и женщина смотрят на меню в ресторане. Что мужчина заказал?
Что бы вы хотели заказать?
Эта пицца выглядит аппетитно. Я возьму ее.
Я ел пиццу вчера, так что...
Правда? Тогда как насчет гамбургера?
Звучит неплохо. Я закажу его.
Что мужчина заказал? Мужчина и женщина смотрят на меню в ресторане. Что мужчина заказал?
Что бы вы хотели заказать?
Эта пицца выглядит аппетитно. Я возьму ее.
Я ел пиццу вчера, так что...
Правда? Тогда как насчет гамбургера?
Звучит неплохо. Я закажу его.
Мальчик читает свой дневник. Что мальчик сделал в первую очередь в этот день?
Сегодня была очень хорошая погода. После обеда я пошел в бассейн, а вечером я пошел смотреть кино. Кроме того, я учился утром. Это был очень хороший день.
Что мальчик сделал в первую очередь в этот день? Мальчик читает свой дневник. Что мальчик сделал в первую очередь в этот день?
Сегодня была очень хорошая погода. После обеда я пошел в бассейн, а вечером я пошел смотреть кино. Кроме того, я учился утром. Это был очень хороший день.
Мужчина и женщина рассматривают фотографию. На какую фотографию они смотрят? Это фотография футбольной команды вашего сына, не так ли? Который из них ваш сын?
Вот этот.
О, он самый высокий в команде.
Он выше, чем я.
На какую фотографию они смотрят? Мужчина и женщина рассматривают фотографию. На какую фотографию они смотрят? Это фотография футбольной команды вашего сына, не так ли? Который из них ваш сын?
Вот этот.
О, он самый высокий в команде.
Он выше, чем я.
Are you feeling confident as a beginner-level language learner? Are you ready to move up to the intermediate level? Here are some tips to help you make that leap and advance your language learning progress. Tip number 1, determine your skill level. It's important to look across your skills in the major language competencies: listening, speaking, writing, and reading. By taking our level assessment test, you can review your skills in each competency and see your strengths and weaknesses. Keep in mind it's normal to be better in some skills than others. Premium Plus users can take our level assessment test and get personalized recommendations and learning pathways based on your results. Once you've figured out which skills need work, it's time to take action. No matter which of your language skills need to be improved, make sure you choose a method that's both effective and fun to help maintain your regular learning routine. Tip number 2, listening. The most effective way to build your listening comprehension is by building a strong vocabulary. The more vocab you master, the easier it will be to understand the context and details of the conversation. Songs in the target language are a key listening tool that will teach you common, everyday vocabulary. By learning and memorizing the lyrics, you're building up your vocabulary. If you really want your listening skills to take off, listen to our podcasts. We have hundreds of hours of audio lessons for you to listen to. Before you know it, you'll be able to understand shows and movies. Tip number 3, speaking. Add speaking elements to your language routine. Try shadowing podcasts, repeating along while you listen. Match the native speaker's pronunciation and intonation. This is a fantastic way to improve your fluency and accuracy. You can also find a partner for conversation exchange. A partner can help correct your mistakes and teach you more natural ways to phrase your ideas. Tip number 4, writing. An easy way to start writing more often is by keeping a one-sentence journal. Write one sentence in a journal every day. It doesn't take a lot of time and is a great habit for beginners to build a routine. You have to be consistent to make improvements. Ask native speakers to correct your writing to improve even faster. You can submit sentences and phrases to your teacher using Premium Plus. Tip number 5, reading. Reading is a skill you can improve by yourself. There's no need to rush. It doesn't matter if you read 1 or 100 pages at a time. What matters is that you understand what you read. Write down new words as you read them to practice later. If there's an audio version, read along with the narrator. It'll help you read at a slightly faster speed than normal. You can use the audio that comes with each of our lessons. Bonus tip, never give up. Where do your language skills currently stand? Where do you want them to be? How do you get there? Whatever your goal is, make it clear and part of your life. You'll reach it if you stay focused and positive. And if you really want your skills to take off, make use of our tools and resources. They're designed to help you get to the next level in the fastest, easiest, and most fun way.
Женщина спрашивает кое-что у продавца в книжном магазине. Какую книгу хочет посмотреть женщина? Извините, могу я взглянуть на книгу вон на той полке?
Которую книгу вы хотите посмотреть?
Книгу о машинах.
Подождите, пожалуйста. Вот эту?
Верно.
Вот, пожалуйста.
Какую книгу хочет посмотреть женщина? Женщина спрашивает кое-что у продавца в книжном магазине. Какую книгу хочет посмотреть женщина? Извините, могу я взглянуть на книгу вон на той полке?
Которую книгу вы хотите посмотреть?
Книгу о машинах.
Подождите, пожалуйста. Вот эту?
Верно.
Вот, пожалуйста.
Мужчина разговаривает с клиникой по телефону. До какого времени мужчина должен прийти туда? Здравствуйте. Чем я могу вам помочь?
До скольки вы сегодня работаете?
До 6 часов. Но, пожалуйста, придите до 5:30.
Хорошо.
До какого времени мужчина должен прийти туда? Мужчина разговаривает с клиникой по телефону. До какого времени мужчина должен прийти туда? Здравствуйте. Чем я могу вам помочь?
До скольки вы сегодня работаете?
До 6 часов. Но, пожалуйста, придите до 5:30.
Хорошо.
In the last lesson, we learned how to express gratitude with спасибо. In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings you'll use in Russian. Готовы? Are you ready? Поехали! Let's start. The most used informal greeting is привет. Привет. Привет means hi or hello. We use this greeting when we meet friends, cousins, or close relatives. Please keep in mind that it's a very informal greeting. If you're not close to someone or he or she is older than you, you should not use this word. Here's a more formal way to greet people. Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. This is a very formal greeting that can be used any time of day. As a variation, здравствуй can also be used. This is still a little casual, but much more formal than привет. Здравствуйте is actually a variation of здраво желаю, meaning I wish you health. So здравствуйте literally means I wish you to be healthy.
Здравствуй.
Russian also has equivalents to the English good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. They are доброе утро, добрый день, добрый вечер. They are similar to здравствуйте in politeness and formality. However, remember to use them at the proper time depending on whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening. Доброе утро, which means good morning, is usually used before 12 p.m. Доброе утро. The word добрый means kind. Russians don't say good morning, they say kind morning. The word утро means morning, so literally this phrase means kind morning to you. Very sweet. Добрый день can either mean good afternoon or good day. Since the word здравствуйте can be used at any time of the day, we will hear it more than добрый день, but it's still a phrase you should learn. Добрый день. The final greeting is добрый вечер, and we usually use it after 6 p.m. The word вечер literally means evening. Kind evening to you. Добрый вечер. Very easy, right? The usual way to say goodbye in almost any situation is до свидания, which literally means till the next meeting. До свидания. If you're on casual terms with somebody, you may also use пока, which means bye or see you later. Пока. The phrase you use when leaving someone in the evening or just before bed is спокойной ночи. This phrase works both for formal and informal situations. Спокойной ночи. You can now greet people in many different ways in Russia. Congratulations! Now it's time for Svetlana's tips. As I mentioned in our first lesson, Russians commonly greet each other by shaking hands or slightly nodding the head. What I want to add to this is that Russians are very superstitious people, so we never shake hands over the threshold between rooms. It's considered to be unlucky. So always go into the room first before shaking hands. Women usually kiss each other on the cheek 3 times, starting with the left cheek. Men hug and pat each other's backs. In the last lesson, we learned how to introduce ourselves in Russian. Today we are going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. Готовы? Are you ready? Поехали! Then let's start. There are several ways to thank people. Let's start with the most common phrase спасибо. Спасибо. Спасибо means thank you. To say thank you very much, you just need to add большое. Большое спасибо. Большое спасибо. Большое means big. In context, большое спасибо literally means big thanks. So when someone thanks you, how should you answer? There are several ways to respond to this phrase. One which is fairly close in translation to the English phrase "you're welcome" is пожалуйста. It's very common in Russia, but we also use another phrase quite often. Не за что, which means not at all. The word пожалуйста means something like please in English. Пожалуйста. In English, it sounds a little bit strange to say please when somebody thanks you, right? But by using this word, you're indicating that you are pleased to be helpful. Не за что means more or less the same thing as пожалуйста, but offers a little more courtesy. Say не за что. Не за что. One which is fairly close in translation to the English phrase you're welcome is пожалуйста. It's very common in Russia, but we also use another phrase quite often, не за что, which means not at all. Now it's time for Svetlana's tips. When saying thank you in Russia, body language is very important. Спасибо is the universal word and can be used in both formal and informal cases. You can make it sound more formal just by changing your intonation, like this. Спасибо. Friends usually act more openly and even slap each other on the shoulder. In any case, it's very important that your thanks be accompanied with smile and again, direct eye contact. Спасибо. In the last lesson, we learned the phrase «Извините, вы говорите по-английски?» Excuse me, do you speak English? We mentioned the word «извините», which means excuse me in Russian. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use «извините» and other words when apologizing in Russian. We usually use «извините» when we want to draw somebody's attention. Perhaps you want to order something in the restaurant or simply ask the time. For example, «Извините, который час?» Excuse me, what time is it? The other meaning of «извините» is to say I'm sorry for something you've done or haven't done. The word «извините» derives from the word «вина», which means guilt in English. You use it when you feel guilty for bothering somebody or causing some problem. The word «извините» is used in its formal polite form. The informal version for it is «извини». It can also be used in two ways as mentioned, but is mostly used in the sense of regret and apology. «Извини» refers to the informal pronoun you in its singular form. In other words, you would use it when speaking to a person you would address with the pronoun ты. Another informal word for an apology is «прости», which has almost the same meaning as «извини», but with a slightly higher level of regret. It derives from the verb «прощать», which means forgive. So literally this word is translated as «forgive me». So the formal way to say «forgive me» in Russian would be «простите» or «прошу прощения». The meaning of both phrases is almost the same. «Простите» is an imperative verb which literally means «forgive me». «Прошу прощения» means I am asking you to forgive me. This phrase is a bit more polite than «простите». As you might have guessed, the word «прошу» means I ask. You can add the word «пожалуйста», please, to your apology to make it even more polite and sincere. Простите, пожалуйста. Извините, пожалуйста. Excuse me, please. Okay, great. Now it's time for Svetlana's tips. If you accidentally bump somebody, any of the phrases mentioned in this lesson would be fine for an apology. Just don't say nothing or ignore the other person, because you might get a very angry reaction and be yelled at in front of everybody. Russians can be very short-tempered and emotional, but will not usually harbor resentment if you admit your mistake. It is always easier to say a simple word of apology straight away rather than try to cool an angry Russian down. In the last lesson, we learned the most common forms of greetings in Russian. Do you remember them? In this lesson, we are going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? If you find yourself in a situation when you need assistance in English, this phrase can be a lifesaver. And because you're asking it in Russian, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you are saying, even if the answer is no. Here's the informal way to say it. Ты говоришь по-английски? Ты говоришь по-английски? In Russian, verbs change depending on the pronoun that is used. The pronoun ты is the singular you in English. It is a very informal way to address people. Don't use it with complete strangers, especially if the person is older than you. I don't recommend that you use it during formal gatherings either, such as business meetings, conferences, and so on. The verb говоришь means speak in English. As I already mentioned, verbs usually change in Russian, according to the pronoun and time. The original form for the verb говоришь is говорить. To learn how to properly conjugate Russian verbs like говорить, please take a look at our Absolute Beginner series on RussianPod101.com. You can find very detailed grammar lessons and resources there. To make this sentence a question, we don't need to change the word order or anything like that. All we need is to change our intonation. You speak English is Ты говоришь по-английски. But do you speak English is Ты говоришь по-английски? A more polite way to ask this question in Russian is to use the pronoun вы, which is translated in English as the plural you. Remember, as we change the pronoun, we also need to conjugate the verb to match it. Говорить is conjugated to говорите. So the whole phrase in Russian will be Вы говорите по-английски? Вы говорите по-английски? The phrase по-английски stays the same. And you probably have already understood the meaning, right? It means in English. Very easy. By adding извините, excuse me, you make the sentence even more polite. Извините, вы говорите по-английски? Извините, вы говорите по-английски? The responses you might receive could be one of these three. Да, yes. Да. Немного, a little. Немного. Нет, no. Нет. The full version for the negative sentence will be Нет, я не говорю по-английски. Since this is a negation, we need to add the particle не before the verb говорю. Notice also that the verb говорите changed. It changed to говорю because we used the pronoun I here. Я in Russian. Thus the phrase I do not speak English is Я не говорю по-английски. Now it's time for Svetlana's tips. For those of you who are not native English speakers, don't worry. You can of course use this question with any language you need. Many other European and Asian languages are also popular in Russia. So maybe you will get lucky. Just substitute по-английски with по-немецки for German, по-испански for Spanish, по-китайски for Chinese, по-японски for Japanese. Great! In this lesson we mentioned the expression извините. But did you know that this can also be used as an apology? In the next lesson we'll learn this and other ways to apologize in Russian. It's never too late to show you good manners towards Russian people. Hi, I'm Svetlana. Nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn basic Russian expressions. It's super easy and it takes only 3 minutes. In this lesson, you are going to learn how to introduce yourself in Russian. There are a few ways to do so, depending on how formal you want to be. Let's first take a look at an informal way to introduce yourself in Russian. It's very short and simple. Привет, меня зовут Светлана. Очень приятно. Hi, I'm Svetlana. Nice to meet you. Привет, меня зовут Светлана. Очень приятно. Start with the greeting привет. Then you introduce yourself by saying меня зовут. And then your name. Меня зовут Светлана. Finally say nice to meet you. The simplified and very casual phrase for it is очень приятно. The whole phrase will be привет, меня зовут Светлана. Очень приятно. Now let's take a look at more formal version for greeting and self-introduction. It's a bit longer than the previous one. You ready? Here we go. Здравствуйте, меня зовут Светлана. Приятно познакомиться. Hello, my name is Svetlana. It's a pleasure to meet you. Здравствуйте, меня зовут Светлана. Приятно познакомиться. What has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a closer look at these together. First, we changed the greeting word привет to здравствуйте. It's very formal and official greeting which can be used any time of the day. Morning, afternoon, evening, or even at night. Luckily, the phrase you use to introduce your name stays the same. Меня зовут Светлана. Next, after giving your name, you say «Приятно познакомиться». It's more formal, but can be used in informal greeting as well. It literally means it's a pleasure to meet you. Once more, the formal way to introduce yourself is «Здравствуйте, меня зовут Светлана. Приятно познакомиться». In the sentence «Меня зовут Светлана», «меня» is myself, and «зовут» is to be called. So the literal translation is I'm called Svetlana. Unlike English, where I would say my name is Svetlana, in Russian we basically say somebody calls me Svetlana. Interesting, huh? Now it's time for Svetlana's tips. It's common to shake hands both when you greet somebody and leave them in Russia. Handshaking is more common for men, but women also practice it a lot lately. And don't forget direct eye contact. It's very important in Russia. Good friends usually give hugs and kiss each other on the cheeks 3 times.
When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, you can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to know how to improve your listening and speaking skills, be able to save conversations, listen to them as many times as you want, and learn hundreds of practical everyday conversations? Well, there is an easy way to do this. In this video, we'll go over how to speak more using the dialogue track. So, what is the dialogue track? The dialogue track is an audio track with just the conversation from the lesson. It's only about 10 to 30 seconds long. Let's say you're looking at a 5-minute lesson about ordering food at a restaurant. First, you hear a conversation. Then our teachers explain every grammar rule and translate every word, so you know what it all means. That's where the dialogue track comes in. It gives you just the conversation. Here's what makes the dialogue track so powerful. First, you can quickly review the conversation without re-listening to the lesson. The dialogue track is just 10 to 30 seconds long, so it won't take you very long to cover both new and old information. This makes it perfect for a quick review of what you've just learned, and it helps keep it fresh in your brain. Second, you'll remember the conversations easier. Listen on repeat, like you would with a song, and the words, phrases, and grammar rules will stick better. And the more you come back to re-listen, the better it will all stick. Third, you'll speak more of your target language. So if you have 10, 20, or 100 dialogue tracks like that, then you have 10, 20, or 100 conversations that you'll know inside out and that you can use in real life. For example, conversations like catching up with friends, ordering at a restaurant, talking about your family, introducing yourself, and much, much more. Fourth, you improve your listening skills and can immerse yourself in the language. So imagine you've finished 20 lessons and you've downloaded 20 dialogue tracks to your phone. That's 20 conversations. You can create a playlist and play those 20 tracks and get used to the language and immerse yourself. To recap what we just learned, here's what you do to make the most of the dialogue tracks. First, after you finish a lesson, download the dialogue track. Save it to your computer or phone so you can listen to it on repeat whenever possible. Just replace 3 to 15 minutes of music listening for some language review. Next, if you've finished 20 lessons, you should have 20 dialogue tracks. Use those to create a playlist of these dialogue tracks so that you can listen to all kinds of conversations. And finally, try shadowing the conversations that you hear. This will become super easy once you've heard the conversation enough times. But if you're still struggling with a word or two, go back to the lesson and check the line-by-line breakdown of the conversation to find the words you need to practice. boost your speaking skills with the dialogue track and check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to speak your target language with confidence and impress native speakers? When learning to speak a new language, you have lots of things to think about, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Because you're thinking of all of these things and trying to speak, it can be difficult to communicate with confidence, especially in the beginning. This is why it's helpful to make confidence-building exercises part of your language learning process. In this video, you'll learn 7 ways to boost your confidence. 1. Read out loud. This might seem pretty basic, but it's a great way to practice speaking. Reading aloud lets you practice speaking without having to think about grammar or things to talk about. Reading out loud lets you focus on your pronunciation and the rhythm of the language. It can help you learn to speak more smoothly and quickly, without even thinking about it. If you're using our lessons, read the dialogue out loud as you listen. You can read along with the dialogue tool, the lesson notes, or the transcript. 2. Read like a child. This might sound strange, but think about children learning to read. They go slow and sound everything out. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 tries before they read a new word smoothly, and a few more tries before they can read it at a natural pace. This example applies to language learning too. If you find a complex sentence in something you're reading, read it slowly at first, then speed up. With practice, you'll be able to say it easily. It might feel a bit silly to speak very slowly, but this kind of practice can help you identify tough sounds you might miss or say incorrectly when reading quickly. 3. Use the dialogue breakdown tool. If you're using our site, this is a great tool to take advantage of. It breaks down lesson conversations into individual lines. You can listen to the audio for each line, learn what each line means, and can reread and review as much as you want. 4. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line in the dialogue section. You can use this tool to perfect your pronunciation if you like, but this is also something you can use to work on speaking with confidence at native level speed. You'll find this tool in the dialogue section of all of our lessons. 5. Repeat and review old lesson conversations. Reviewing what you've studied in the past is the best way to make sure you maintain what you've learned. Go back to older lessons, download the lesson dialogue tracks, and re-listen to the conversations again and again. Or you can reread the dialogue lines from previous lessons until you've mastered them all. 6. Shadow conversations. Repeat what you hear out loud. This tactic is important, but it can be tricky when you're doing a brand new lesson. If you're reviewing dialogues from lessons you've done though, it's super easy to do. Just listen to the dialogue and repeat what you hear. Shadowing means mimicking the speaker as soon as they speak, following their intonation and rhythms as closely as possible. 7. Send recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. If you want to speak with confidence, there's no better confidence boost than feedback from a native speaker, and you get just that with a Premium Plus teacher. You can record yourself reciting a lesson dialogue or any dialogue of your own, and your teacher will give you specific tips on how to improve. From the tips your teacher gives you, choose at least one and practice, practice, practice. Being able to react quickly and with confidence in a conversation is typically not something you can do on your first try, but if you continue practicing, you'll gradually find yourself speaking with ease. And for even more ways to build your speaking confidence, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! When you start out learning a foreign language, everything is exciting. You pick up new words and basic phrases fairly quickly. The first time you say a greeting or answer the question, "How are you?" you might even get a little thrill. Speaking fluently doesn't feel that far off, and at this point, it really does seem like language learning isn't all that difficult. But after a week or two, things begin to change. After a few weeks of study, you start to hit walls as you're faced with strange grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Everything about learning a new language seemed promising and hopeful before, but now you start to realize how difficult it's going to be. Speaking the language now feels like a long, far-off goal that you may or may not achieve one day. But don't let the innocence of being an absolute beginner or the disillusionment of being an experienced learner discourage you from learning. Speaking a new language may not be as far off as you thought. In this video, we'll look at 3 tips to help you practice your speaking skills, no matter what level you're at. Number 1, practice with native speakers. Practicing with native speakers is by far one of the most effective things you can do to improve your speaking abilities. Think of speaking a foreign language as riding a bike. After a certain point, you can't read or theorize about how to do it. You have to actually do it. If you can practice speaking with native speakers who correct you and give good feedback, then you'll be well on your way to improving your speaking. But where can you find native speakers to practice with? If you live in or near a major city, there's a good chance there are some native speakers there. You might even get lucky and discover an entire community. Do a little research into the demographics of your city, or simply keep your eyes open the next time you go through town. You can also attend a language exchange or cultural event. Meetup is a site for local enthusiast groups, and there are usually some language-speaking clubs or cultural clubs there. If you're unable to find native speakers where you live, then jump online and find them there. There are a lot of free online exchanges that allow you to connect with other language learners from all over the globe via text, audio, or video chat. Look for a speaker who is learning your native language. You can spend an hour or so helping each other in your respective target languages. This is a highly practical and helpful way to learn. It's also a great way to learn more directly about the culture you're studying in a real way. Number 2, devote some time to learning pronunciation. Pronunciation often isn't the first skill people think of working on when learning a foreign language, but that doesn't mean that it isn't important. Truth be told, you don't absolutely need a great accent to speak or understand every language. However, a decent accent can vastly improve your listening and speaking abilities in ways you might not expect. Being able to pronounce words and sounds makes it a lot easier for you to remember and understand new words simply by hearing them. If you can physically make a sound with your mouth, then you can mentally remember it. Once you have a good accent, the new language won't sound as foreign as it once did, and you'll be able to understand rapid speech, as well as pick up the definition of new words based on their conversational context. But how can you improve your accent? If you're serious about developing your accent, then you'll want to dissect the language's sound system into its individual parts. First by letters, then individual words, followed by whole phrases. Start doing some mild research on the phonetics of your target language. You don't have to get too technical here. Just try to get an idea of some of the main differences between it and your native language. Find out where native speakers usually put their tongue while saying certain sounds, or pay attention to the shape of their mouths when they speak. Is it open or closed? These subtle differences are what really help you improve. Once you get the letters down, start listening to native audio and compare your pronunciation to the native speakers. Our language learning program's playback feature is a great way to accomplish this. Take a phrase from a lesson and start by practicing the individual words, playing the audio back at a slower speed and then again at a regular speed. After comparing your speech to the audio, combine the words to make complete phrases, imitating the intonation of the native speakers. This precise method of pronunciation practice is one of the most efficient and effective ways to learn pronunciation. Number 3, imitate, don't just repeat. Anytime you speak, do your best to imitate the native speakers you've heard and practice with. Match the way their intonation rises and falls. Pay attention to their word order. It's even a good idea to match some of their body language. This degree of imitation will probably feel weird at first, but it reinforces fluency in the language and breaks you out of the parrot trap, where you simply learn and speak through rote memorization or repetition. This is a common problem that's often cited with other less effective language learning methods. Speaking a language is like playing music or dancing. You don't want to just know it. You want to live in the moment and feel it as you use it. You don't sit and think of what you're going to say in your native language before you say it. Why would you expect to do the same in a new one? Don't let ruffled expectations make you think that speaking a new language is impossible. Yes, it's difficult, but it probably isn't as difficult as you think it is. With a little determination and some faithful practice, you might be surprised how quick and how far you can progress. Use these tips to better practice the language and see real results in your speaking abilities. And for even more ways to practice your speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.